Hey world, how are you doing? It is your queen, your coach, your colleague, and your friend, Dr. Brenda Bowers. And I need to give you an update on the 19s. And I realize we're having some uploading issues. We're having some network issues in our area. So I apologize because I recognize things have been having a delay in uploading. But I'm going to do 19 and we're going to do 20. I will do them separate so you can keep them separate. But your sandwich for 19 did that video did go up. So you should have known how to prepare your meal for yesterday. And I'm going to tell you about how to prepare yours today. So we're going to go through 19 and then you're going to get your normal video from me. And then you'll get one for 20. Hey, welcome to your future. Today is always yesterday's tomorrow. So whenever you see me, it's going to be today. And whenever you're wondering when I'm going to show up, once I do, it'll be now because I know when my faith is. And my faith is always now. It's the only place it can be. What am I working on other than my future when I'm in my present? Because there's nothing I can do about what has passed. 86,400 seconds a day. You get to manage them. God allows us to manage them by giving us the same allocation to everybody, no matter how old they are, no matter what their nationality, no matter any of their demographics. It's all about managing seconds and making decisions by the second, because that is the true determination of a lifetime. Number 19, we had that 1 and a 9. We know that now we're coming up to this 10 thing happening. And it's been quite interesting where we have been able to be at one with God versus twain laying in the bosom of Abraham, and that one and that indivisible, just spreading it with all that great love. And then that's how we did our beginning new piece of bread. And then our new beginning bread for 9, we were able to spread that with that, all of that completion. We did it stuff. And in the middle, remember, we were able to take all 9 attributes of the Holy Ghost, and we decided we were going to bind and we were going to loose. And we bound and we loosed. And we had a great time doing so. So I hope that was fun for you. 1, 9. So 19. We just look at fun facts. I just look up. You all can do the same thing. This is just for educational and entertainment purposes. Whether I'm looking up on studybible.org, funfacts.com, Wikipedia, any of the public search sites, and I'm just talking about them with you. The number 19 is the 8th prime number. We've been talking about prime numbers. Prime numbers are special mathematical numbers that can only be divided by themselves and the number 1. In 1966, the Rolling Stones wrote a hit song called 19th Nervous Breakdown. This wildly studied, successful song ranked 2nd in both the US and the UK charts. The anatomic number for the chemical element potassium is 19. Now, you know, people of color that are watching me, you need to know this. Potassium is the 19th atomic number on the periodic table where all atoms are listed. These are all singular things. Potassium is a singular atom represented by the number 19, and it belongs to the first group of the periodic table of elements and the other alkali elements such as sodium and lithium. At room temperature, potassium has a dull silvery white appearance and can be cut easily with a knife. Potassium is a salt. It's an important salt, and it is one that when we take high blood pressure medication and we also take some type of diuretic, a water pill, then potassium tends to get flushed out of our system through our pee, our urination. And then we have to make sure to replace it, because when we don't replace enough potassium, then we end up getting spasms and cramps in our hands and feet. And I'm going to tell you, I know that you've been told eat a banana a day. Do not go against your doctor's rules. But I have found personally that it is insufficient, that I have to do more things to manage my potassium, including taking a supplement. And you don't want IV potassium. It burns. It's really caustic. IV, I mean, get it if you have to and your numbers go that low, but what you really want to do is keep your numbers in a normal level. It is an anatomic number, and it is number 19. The number 19, when in the form of Roman numerals, is written XIX, which is a palindrome, something that reads the same backwards or forwards. So the number 19 in Roman numeral nomenclature, it ends up being a palindrome. It looks the same frontward and backwards. It's also the largest of the prime numbers that are a palindrome when written as Roman numerals. The 19th chord of the major arcana tarot cards is referred to as the sun. Within tarot card reading, this joyful, cheery card adds an element of positivity to the reading. It's connected with success, happiness, and freedom. That is the 19th of the major arcana tarot cards. The popular East Asian board game Go, also known as I-Go in Chinese or Baduk in Korean, is played on a 19 by 19 square grid. The board itself is called a Goban. The game is played with 180 white and 181 black pieces. Go is a highly complex game that requires great strategic skill. The game itself was invented in about 4,000 years ago, making it the oldest board game around the world. How many of you have ever played it? I haven't. Dr. B can't raise her hand on that. British musician Paul Hardcastle released a song in 1985 that was titled 19. The song created a strong anti-war sentiment, particularly focused on the United States of America and in America's involvement in the Vietnam War. It was an instant success, staying at the top of the UK charts for 5 weeks. While popular in many countries, it has only ever ranked number 15 in the US charts. It makes approximately 19 years for the lunar phases of the moon to appear again on the same day. It's pretty incredible. For example, the moon was full on August 15th in both the years 2000 and 2019. This cycle of about 19 years is called the Metonic cycle. So what this means is it takes about 19 years for the phases of the moon to appear on that same day of the year. So it's not that the full moon doesn't appear, because it does, but it doesn't appear on the same day. So when did it appear on August 15th? It appeared on August 15th in the year 2000, and it appeared on August 15th in the year 2019, because it takes about 19 years for that lunar cycle to complete itself. In November 9th, 2008, Anita Swartz was awarded the Guinness Book World of Records for the most beer steins carried over 131.3 feet or 40 meters by a woman. Hailing from Messenich, Germany, Anita was able to carry 19 steins without dropping a single one. There are 19 calories in a tablespoon of cinnamon. Not sure why we use a whole tablespoon of cinnamon, but just know that a teaspoon of it is about 19 calories. So if you are a person that puts cinnamon on your rolls or in your tea or in your recipes, then you might be fretting over some calories that you don't even have to fret over. 19 calories per tablespoon. That's pretty good size. In 2008, British musician Adele released an album titled 19. The album, which was at the top of the Billboard's catalog charts, was on those charts 10 out of 11 weeks, was titled as such because Adele was just 19 when she released it. Did you know that? If you're speaking rapidly or without pause, you could be described as talking 19 to the dozen. The meaning behind the expression is one who talks this way is speaking 19 words in the time it would normally take to speak 12. So you're speaking fast. How come you're talking 19 to the dozen, man? Slow down. The number 19 is scattered all throughout Stephen King's epic 8-book series titled The Dark Tower. Without giving too much away, it is constantly referenced in an important yet mysterious way. You have to go read it to find out more. The 14th of 19 on January 12, 1998, a group of 19 European nations signed an international agreement that banned the cloning of humans. This was the first instance of human cloning being banned by any national or international agreement. The 19 countries were Turkey, Sweden, Spain, Slovenia, San Marino, Romania, Portugal, Norway, Moldova, Macedonia, Luxembourg, Latvia, Italy, Iceland, Greece, France, Finland, Estonia, and Denmark. In the most provinces of Canada, you're allowed to purchase alcohol from the age of 19 legally. If you live in Quebec, Manitoba, or Alberta, you're legally allowed to purchase it even a little earlier at 18. Speaking of alcohol, Maker's Mark whiskey also has a connection to the number 19. This whiskey is made in much smaller batches than other large-scale distilleries. Each batch is always claimed to be no more than 19 barrels. On August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the United States of the Constitution was passed into law. This amendment gave women the right to vote and had actually been introduced to Congress more than 20 years prior to it being approved in 1878. But on August 18th, 1920, the 19th Amendment of the United States was approved, which allowed women to vote. So therefore, women of color, let us even the more. The infamous Salem witch trials took place for over 1 year. Massachusetts colony in the late 17th mania gripped the region. Over 200 people were accused of some form of witchcraft, with 30 of them being found guilty. On this number, 19 so-called witches were hung by the neck until they were dead in Salem, Massachusetts. 19 of 19. Let's end on something positive. There are 19 Arabic letters in the first verse of the Quran, known as Basmala. It translates into the name of the God, the most gracious and most merciful. The Basmala is actually recited before all chapters of the Quran, except for the 9th chapter. But it is also sometimes considered to be one of the first verses of the first chapter. So unless you live in parts of Canada, the age of 19 really doesn't seem to be that significant. That doesn't mean that the number 19 itself is not meaningful, is not interesting. So we have to be able to embrace our number 19, because our number 19 is giving us a 1 plus a 9, which is a 10, which means we've completed a cycle, which means we got to start over. So now that we began new with our 1 and we got all that good bread, because we got all 9 of those attributes of the Holy Ghost, we rebuked and bound, got all this stuff done. And now we get to launch into our new beginning, because you've done a phenomenal job completing what is yours to do. I'm going to see you soon, and it is until soon. And when I see you, it will be today, even though it's going to be tomorrow, because today is always yesterday's tomorrow. That's why all it can be is until soon. Agape and shalom.